Nina. Thanks for joining me today for a new video. And because it's Diecember, I wanted to share a card with you that features pretty much nothing but die cutting. The only thing I did add to this project was a little bit of stenciling to color behind these very festive balloons. So in today's project, I'm going to be using this bunch of balloons die. This is something we released during Diecember. And right off the bat, this die creates a beautiful outline of balloons. Now I'm going to use this to create a shaker card. I cut into an A2 white panel, and I'm going to use that negative space to create a window. So I've die cut that balloon. We're going to save only the two negative pieces down below the strings, and everything else we're going to set aside. I'm going to die cut again, this time from some silver glitter cardstock. This particular piece we're going to use the outline of the balloons. That's going to nestle into our negative white panel. And then those two little small pieces we saved from the first round of die cutting, those are going to get nestled down underneath the balloons to fill in that space so that all we have left is that nice window of balloons. Now I did tell you we're going to do a bit of stenciling. I have two stencils from our Simon Says Stamp collection along with a selection of positively saturated inks. So I'm going to start first by ink blending onto a piece of white cardstock. With our positively saturated inks, I used TAFFY, PEACHY, SUNBEAM, CELERY, and SEAFOAM. So these colors are going to create a really nice rainbow transition. As you can see, I'm doing a little bit of it on an angle. And I'm not working too hard to blend these colors perfectly because we're going to add more blending on top, and that's really going to help smooth out all the blending. So I'm going to start off now with one of the stencils. This is the I Like Big Dots stencil. And I'm going to go back over top of all of my ink blending using the same colors, but this time we're creating a tone-on-tone effect. As I do this, I am adding a little bit more of a heavier hand with the ink, just so that we get a nice darker tone on top. And if you're interested in any of the products that I'm using today, from the balloons to the stencils and everything in between, I do have all of the products linked below in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube or over on the blog. So here's our first round of stenciling. You can see how beautiful this looks. We're going to step it up even more by adding another layer of circles on top of that. So this is the Fading Circles stencil, also from Simon Says Stamp. And this I'm going to add that same tone-on-tone blending all the way down across the bottom. So now we have this double layer of stenciling, and I really love how it looks like confetti back there. So this is going to go behind our balloons, and I'm just trying to decide exactly where I want that panel to line up on my background. So I've made some tick marks with my pencil after lining this up onto my cardstock, and then I'll use my Tim Holtz mini trimmer to trim that panel down so that it will fit perfectly behind my A2 panel. This will all then get added onto an A2 card base eventually. So our white piece where we've die cut the balloons as a window into, this is going to have a bunch of tape added to the back of it. I'm using Simon Says Stamp Redline tape, and I attached a piece of acetate from Simon Says Stamp onto the back side of that as well. This is the window for our shaker. Next, I'm taking my outline of balloons. I have not just the silver glitter balloon outline on the left, but I also have two white die cuts that I'm stacking on top of each other, and then these will get layered up behind the silver die cut, so that way this balloon bunch is going to be just a little bit higher than the card itself. It's going to give it just a little bit of dimension. Very simple. I don't want to have this to be too bulky because it's a shaker card, so it will already be bulky. So I've added some clear liquid adhesive on the back side of my balloons, and I'll lay that into the window. With the two negative pieces that we had created from our die cutting at the beginning, I'll nestle those in place, and I'll use my bone folder to make sure that they get pushed completely down into those areas up against the acetate. So here's our window. Isn't that cute? So this is where we're going to have some sequins floating around for a fun shaker. I'm going to put 2 layers of foam tape on the back side of this panel, and then I can fill that little well that we've created around the balloons with some sequins. These are some fun rainbow sequins from Simon Says Stamp. I love the color combination of these, and I thought they went really well with the colors that I used from the ink blending. I'll lay my background panel right on top, and then I sandwiched all of those sequins in between these two pieces, so that's created our shaker. And I'm going to shake this up so you can see how it looks. So now I'm going to pull out a sentiment. This is a big happy birthday die from Simon Says Stamp. It comes with the sentiment, but then also the outline piece too. I'm going to stack up 3 of these pink die cuts together to create a more dimensional sentiment. I use Simon Says Stamp glue stick to be able to just quickly add some adhesive onto these die cuts so that I could stack them real quickly. Now I did use liquid glue on the back side because there is a little bit of an edge on the back side of my die cut sentiments here just from die cutting, and I was worried that the glue stick was going to catch on all those edges, so I just used liquid glue for the back side of the greeting. I'm going to pull out more of that liquid glue and add little dots of adhesive on the back side of these streamer ribbons. These are a die from Simon Says Stamp that's new from the December collection. And I used those streamers to cut it from random colors of rainbow cardstocks. I have all the colors listed below. But I'm going to use this to create some really nice accent to my scene. This is going to really step up the party feel of this card. I love that the streamers come in 2 different sizes, so you can really get some variation on your project. Okay, so for my sentiment, I am going to add just 1 single piece of foam tape to the back, just because I wanted it to have some lift off of the balloons and the streamers. So I'll carefully lay that sentiment down on top of my card and then finish gluing the last few streamers along the top portion of this panel. And that's pretty much all the die cutting that we have. So at this point I decided we needed to add a few small embellishments, so I pulled out more of those sequins that I used inside of my shaker, and I'm just going to use clear adhesive to attach these down in random sections of my card just to create a confetti effect. And then using that same clear adhesive, I'm going to add some glue along the bottom portions of both the happy and the birthday words. And that's going to give my sentiment a dip dye glitter effect. So because we only added that glue along the bottom portion, as I sprinkle some glitter on top, the glitter is only going to be along the bottom section of the words. It looks really cool, and I think it's a fun way to embellish your die cuts and give them a new look. So that completes my very sparkly happy birthday card using some of our very popular Simon Says Stamp dies. And I love the fact that all these products paired so well together to create such a really fun shaker card. So all through the month of December, we've been sharing so much inspiration using dies because, of course, the whole reason behind the month of December is to celebrate the love of die cutting. Die cutting is one of our favorite things here at Simon, and so it deserves a whole month of celebration. So I hope you were inspired by today's project. I can't thank you enough for stopping by and spending time with us today. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to our channel for additional inspiration. We post every day. And I will be back very soon to share even more creative ideas with you. Until next time, have a very wonderful day, friends. Bye!